Hey, it's Wednesday again. So here we are with another Bible study. I'm coming to you from home today, so you'll hear some background noise. You might hear the water going, or the dogs barking, or the microwave beeping, and that's okay. Hopefully, it's okay with you, but that's how it is. So, something we hear a lot about lately is American made versus overseas stuff, specifically stuff made in China. That's one of the few things that a lot of us can agree on, whether we're Republicans, Democrats, Independents. We all think, hey, we need to do more American-made stuff, less Chinese-made stuff, and something a lot of us can get behind. We need to be more self-sufficient. But tonight, I'd like to think about, for a moment, about God-made versus man-made stuff. Not specifically about buying, but just about valuing. I want to say that I really didn't have a lot of value when I was young for God-made stuff. I didn't think so highly about God's creation. I remember one of my favorite shows was The $6 Million Man. Lee Majors starred in that show. He starred as a NASA pilot by the name of Steve Austin, and he was in this big bad crash, and he got messed up really bad. All sorts of body parts were torn up, and the intro to that show showed the crash, and he was hurt all over, and they transformed him into a cyborg. And the premise of the show was, we have the technology. We can rebuild him faster and stronger. And I remember when the show was going on, it would kind of go into slow motion. And there was this sound effect that was supposed to show you that he was going faster, key you into the fact that he was going faster than anyone could possibly go as a normal human. And I remember as a kid, I would run around, the sound was, so I'd go around my yard going, thinking I was running faster than anybody else. I thought that I wanted to be the Bionic Man, because I like all the superhero shows, Superman and the League of Justice, the Hall of Justice, the Super Friends, all this kind of stuff. Well, that show, $6 Million Man, that was the closest thing to being like a real life superhero. And I thought that was great. And I kind of bought into that idea of, hey, through technology, through man-made stuff, we can actually rebuild and make something better than what we get through nature. And boy, you get older and you realize things don't work out quite that way, right? When things fail us, and when we go to the doctor and, well, my hearing's not so well. Well, people get surgeries, or they get technology, and you try to get your hearing back better, to recover some of the hearing that you used to have. You have eye surgeries or glasses to try to get you back to what you had. You don't get sight that it's better than maximum of, you go through procedures, you get a hip replacement. It's not better than a natural hip. It's going to wear out after 10 or 15 years. Now, we're all happy that technology has come along, and that a hip replacement today is way better than a hip replacement 10 years ago, and that one was better than the one 10 years before that. And we're all real thankful for those things. But the idea that show promoted, that a $6 million man would be a superior, much better athlete, it's laughable. All the money in $6 billion couldn't create a better athlete with better vision, faster, quicker than just a regular athlete. Mankind, in all of its wisdom and ability and technology, still can't improve on what God made. Isn't that something? And so really David was ahead of the times. In Psalm 139, he said, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Now, I thought about this most of my life. I haven't had many dental problems at all. I'd go and I'd get a good report, and I haven't had any cavities since I was a kid. I said go every year, or the years that I did go, some years I didn't bother to go. It didn't matter. When I'd go back to the dentist, they'd say, oh, that's great, And so the last 2 or 3 years, I had some trouble, and I've had some work to be done lately, and I've been in a process this last couple of years. First some on the top, and then on the bottom, and I just had some more done yesterday. And one day there'll be stuff. I've had the stuff on the top done. I've had the stuff on the bottom will be done and finished in a few months. But when the stuff on the top was finished, those teeth were taken care of. People looked at it and said, oh, that looks excellent. That looks great. And I thought, wow, I went through all this pain and spent all this money so that they could get it to look as close as possible to what God had put there in the first place. And it's still not as good as that, because I can't floss through it like I used to. And it just reminded me how I tend to overlook and to downplay what God does for me, what God creates, how amazing His creation, both in the human body and in everything He does is. And even though this world is touched and marred by the sinfulness of mankind, it is still a beautiful and wonderful world. And even in human beings, there is much to be seen and to praise God for. And so every time you see these debates and these points being made about what do you buy American made or not, I want you to also let this little devotional thought tonight remind you about God-made versus man-made. That God is the creator, the ultimate creator. And so we as people get our creativity from Him. So it's a great thing that we do create things. That's not bad. Because we're made in His image, that's the reason we create things. So all the creativity, all the things we produce, that's wonderful and that's great. I'm not saying we shouldn't create things, but we should be reminded that He is the original creator. He's the reason we have creativity. And God is the first and the greatest creator. And we should never devalue His creation, whether it be nature itself or the pinnacle of creation, which is human beings, men and women, boys and girls, that He made into the image of God. Think on that one. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you Sunday in worship, and then again next Wednesday in midweek Bible study again.